Okay. Uh, so myself Subhash, I'm having more than 10 years of experience with SharePoint and O365 and Azure as well. So I am a Microsoft solution expert, certified solution expert. So before I
Mhm.
start this session, I just want to understand your technical capability and your years of experience into which domain or which technology. So then we can move forward on this session. So can you
Okay.
explain your experience and technical background a little bit?
Yeah, my current experience is 7 years of experience in IT administration, like basic L1, L2 job roles. So
Mhm.
I just want to, keen to move to the Office 365, Microsoft like Office 365 this thing administration, because I have
Okay.
a little bit knowledge in Office 365 uh,
Mhm.
console experience. I have like creating users, mailboxes like that. So I
Okay.
have a basic idea on Exchange as well. So
Okay.
I just thought that this is a right platform to me to you know to have my career growth. In order to have my career growth, I have chosen this.
Okay. Okay. So you have exposure of Exchange on premises of any of the versions, or you are new to Exchange?
I'm new to Exchange, but I have a just basic knowledge.
Okay.
What is
Okay.
mail actually? What is mailboxes?
Yeah. Okay.
How
Okay.
to give the grant access? So
Yeah.
like
That's
that,
good.
I have a basic knowledge.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
than
Good. Good to have that.
administration level, I don't have like L3 level. What Exchange administration do, like roles they create roles
Mhm.
something. So I don't have
Yeah.
that level. Only L1,
Okay.
L2.
Yeah. Fine. Fine, Naresh. That's good to have. So let us start our session. So the basic agenda is like what is O365, and so today's session mostly I will cover the basic concepts of O365 and a little bit knowledge on Exchange Online. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, today's agenda is what is O365 and what are the benefits out of it, and what are the different plans we have with O365. And so most of the customers in today's world is concerned about the O365 security. So how does it works, and what kind of services like the SharePoint Online or Exchange Online or Skype.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of services the O365 gives, and
Mm-hmm.
what are the different admin centers we have with O365. So, and the next one we'll talk about the actual topic, the Exchange Online introductions, and a couple of features we'll discuss. Then how we will connect with PowerShell with Exchange. So nowadays, I
Okay.
mean, most of the students can work through the UI part, but a little bit lack of knowledge on the PowerShell. So we just more concentrate on the PowerShell as well. So in the coming sessions, how we can deal Exchange through PowerShell. So let's
Mm-hmm.
start. So O365, you might be heard about. It's all about the services so offered by Microsoft. So basically, the O365 will have a couple of applications. There were around 27 applications were there in O365. So a couple
Mm-hmm.
of them were like the most important applications. I could say Dell. Dell is for workflow kind of functionality, and regular applications like Word, Excel, OneNote will be there, and the other important application is like OneDrive. So
Mm-hmm.
which is basically for offline to online integration. So you can work on the documents where you are not in the network coverage, and then once you are in network coverage, the documents can be synced with the O365 like SharePoint Online.
Mm-hmm.
The next important one is the Power BI. So most of the clients are looking for a customized reports. So the Power BI will come into the picture where we can customize more number of data sources where we can connect with data sources like Oracle and SQL or SAP. Then you represent the graphs kind of representation for customers reports. And when I talk about services, it's Exchange and OneDrive. Yammer is for social collaboration. Nowadays, everyone is well versed with it. And SharePoint and Power BI Pro and Stream is for video demos and Microsoft Teams.
Okay,
So
Shivash, just a moment. Sorry to disturb you. So I'll be on mute, and I'm just listening to your sessions. So I may not
okay,
acknowledge like that because I'm in the office. Like so
yeah, yeah,
just have your class continue.
yeah, yeah,
If
fine,
anything,
yes,
can I message you? I'll message you if any
yeah, yeah,
queries.
yeah, yeah, okay, okay,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So move on to the usages now. So basically, you can work from both 365 means so it works on every day. That every day in a year, 365 days. So you can work from anywhere, from any location, whether it is online or offline. It doesn't matter. So you can work with collaborate with multiple people. So that's where no Wi-Fi, no problem. You need offline and sync letter. This is where the OneDrive come into the picture. So when I talk about benefits, collaborate easily with multiple people. So there is no patching concept when you have on-premises. You have to patch the environment, right? It's a really burden sometimes. So once you move on to the O365 online version, so Microsoft will release the latest updates on regular intervals. So there is no patching concept here. So always you can access the latest versions of the applications or services and mix and match plans. So basically on on-premises you have to uh, give users based on the roles they will work on, right? So here with O365 licensing will take care about it. So based on the licensing you can provide access to the customers. So whoever access, see we have a couple of services, right? Like SharePoint Online, Exchange, and Skype. So if somebody access only Exchange, you can give the Exchange kind of role to the customer. So subscription-based payment means pay as you go. So you can pay on monthly basis or yearly basis. So it depends on the requirement and the customer. So for a starter, if somebody is going to start learning on Word 365, so you can initially go with a trial license, then later you can go with a 1 month purchase and get understand all the features available in Word 365. Then you can move on further. So couple of other features were encrypted email. So the other part of is data loss prevention. This is where appliances policies will come into the picture. So once you are an administrator with Exchange or SharePoint Online or any of the services, you have to define the policies. So this is where you need to the administrator role come into the picture mostly. So you need to define policies and mobile device management. So this is also access kind of privilege. So based on the customer request, you can provide the mobile device access from the O365 end. And also ATA. So this is mostly a machine learning kind of a language. So using ATA advanced threat analytics, you can scan all the emails, and if something is malicious in any of the email content, then you can block it, or you can warn the customer also. So these are the couple of features about O365. I mean usages. So data center locations. When I say globally, it's available, and in India and Mumbai, Pune, and Chennai, it's available. So moving on to the plans. Mostly for the larger customers, they will move on to the E3 and E5 versions. So with E3, it's per user per month is around $20, and for E5 edition is around $35. So when I let us see in the link. So let me click on this link and I will go through the editions, what kind of plans we have with O365. So most of the customers will go with E5, where we will have all kind of features with all services available in O365. So when we see the editions with just a minute. అంటే ఏంటి నువ్వు 2 నుండి 5 వరకు తిప్పుతావు అంటే 2 3 4 5 ఇందులో ఏంటి డివైజర్స్ 2 5 డివైజరే కాదా కాదు ఎందుకంటే 2 2 4 అయితే ఒకటి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది రైట్ అన్న అందుకని 1 by 1 చెక్ చేయాలి అంటే ముందు ఒక వేరియబుల్ ఉండాలి. Okay. Before it comes, we'll move on to the next slide. So when I talk about services, it's SharePoint Online and Exchange Online, OneDrive, Skype for Business, and Power BI Pro. So SharePoint Online is nothing but a collaborating documents with multiple people, and you can define your own workflows, and you can create some sites, and you can create some policies to archive the documents once the document is available from more than 2 years or something like that. So you can define a policy to archive the documents. That is how SharePoint Online works. And Exchange Online is something like a email services mechanism. So it includes email, calendar, and tasks, and it can be accessed through any of the devices. And when I talk about OneDrive, as I said earlier, it's a kind of mechanism. So once you are on offline, you can work on the documents which is available in Drive. So once you are coming to the online, you can update the documents. So that is how the OneDrive works. And Skype for Business is always about instant messaging and meeting invites. Power BI Pro is about you can connect with multiple data sources. It can be SQL or Oracle or SAP, whatever it may be. Even you connect with other ERPs like Dynamics as well. So from there you can uh, define the dashboards or reports. So these are the services available in O365. Yamir is all about social networking site. So Microsoft Teams is about video meetings and file storage, and Stream is about you can within the team you can define a video and interact with multiple people. That's where Microsoft Stream will come into the picture. So when I talk about admin centers, mainly there will be O365 admin center will come into the picture, and here you can see multiple admin centers like Exchange, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, Amir, Power Apps is very important nowadays. So there were a lot of apps integrated in that, and Microsoft Flow is to define the workflow process. Security compliances is very important to define the policies, and Azure Active Directories, of course, it's the base for everything, and Microsoft Search. So since you are looking for Exchange administration kind of a role, so you should be concentrating on Exchange and security compliances and Azure Active Directory. So if you learn a little bit on SharePoint Online, then your profile will have more demand in the market. So when I see Exchange Admin Center, it will have dashboard, recipients, permissions, so compliance management. This is a very important feature in Exchange. Organization, protection, mail flow, and mobile public folders, and unified messaging, and hybrid. Hybrid is nothing but I mean you can have on-premises and online integrated, both combined together. So uh, so you should be learning about hybrid and Exchange Online administration in this course. So when I go to the SharePoint Administration Center, you can see the sites. So where you can create a site collection and create a subsites. So every site collection and subsets will have list and libraries where you can create some items. So library is nothing but document library where you can upload some documents and relevant metadata. You can tag it there. Workflows is for to define the process, something kind of a leave approval. So that can be defined through a workflow process. So policies, as I said earlier, policies is to archive any data or trigger any alert when the date is reached at the due date or something like that. Settings is it's only for user permissions, and you can define the site quota, the storage limitations, and OneDrive is to sync the data from online to offline or offline to online. And security compliances, so this is where you can define the permission roles and data governance and threat management, data privacy. So security compliances and exchange administration, Azure Active Directory, SharePoint Online, these are the four important topics for you to concentrate on it. So before moving on to the Exchange Online, we'll see the different versions what is available. So we'll see what are the different plans we have, because these are the Exchange Online plans we have. So online plan 1 and online plan 2. So basically the online plan will comes with the 50 GB mailbox, and online plan 2 will have all the features of plan 1, and it will have unlimited storage and a hosted voice mailbox and data loss prevention. So these are the main differences between Exchange Online Plan 1 and Plan 2. And if you see the services, this is what we talked about earlier. This is about Office 365 Business Premium. Apart from that, there were two editions mainly. The E1 and E3 will have all the applications and services. So most of the clients will go with E1 and E3 only. So this link you can explore it more, and you can look into the more details, because an interview prospect these are more important. So move on to the Exchange Online. Uh, so it's hosted email for any kind of a business. So Exchange Online is Microsoft hosted email for a business, and it's a basically cloud solution. So on-premises is all about on-premises will give all the features, but Exchange Online is benefit having a benefits like you don't need to do any patching kind of stuff. You don't need to do any security kind of stuff. So Exchange Online security and patching activities will completely taken care by the Microsoft. So you can see the reliability and availability time in 2018 for all 3 quarters. It's almost 99.9. So from my experience, I have never heard about downtime of Exchange Online or SharePoint Online applications. So what are the features it gives? Mainly the Exchange Online. So you can access anywhere, and the availability time is 99.9. Hybrid flexibility is most of the customers will go with this hybrid functionality, because some of the data they wanted to keep on-premises and some of the data they wanted to keep on online. So in that case, we need to configure the hybrid stuff. And single sign-on. So since you have on-premises, what is your Exchange Online is a cloud-based solution, right? So Exchange Online is cloud-based solution, and on-premises Exchange 2016 or 2015 all are on-premises solutions. So for on-premises solution, you have to do the patching. So you have to take downtime and you have to do the patching. So on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, according to your business. So for online, you don't need to do any patching, right? So everything will taken care by the Microsoft. Is it clear? Okay. So let's move on to the single sign-on. This concept is very important since many of the customers is having hybrid functionality, so they cannot log in twice onto the applications. Like once if you have online or on-premises. Yeah. So yes, correct. They will have both Exchange Online and on-premises. So for Exchange Online uh, and on-premises, we need to implement a mechanism like single sign-on. So with the same credentials, they can log into the both the applications. So let's move on to the next feature. It's large mailboxes. It's 50 GB. It comes with Exchange Online 1 plan, whereas with the Exchange Online 2 plan, you have unlimited. So earlier with Exchange on premises, the administrator will define the permissions like a 5 GB of quota or 3 GB of quota, or even they uh, even they can define the attachment storage as well. So they can't the users cannot send more than 5 MB of data in Exchange on premises. That is how the administrators will define. But here in Exchange Online, you can send more than that. So those are the differences between Exchange on premises to online. And for Exchange on premises, to define the groups, generally you need to go to the O365 Administration Center, and there you can define the groups. You don't need to define the groups everywhere or the users. So once you define the users in O365, you can give the privilege whatever they wanted. You can give the privilege based on the service. So define the users only at O365 Admin Center, and give the roles based on their working style. So if they wanted to access Exchange only, then define the Exchange role only. So that is how the licensing will work in O365. So in case if they wanted to access both SharePoint Online and Exchange Online, then give both of the access for them. But define the users only at O365 Administration Center. So I will show you in a little bit of time. So move on to the next online feature. It's real-time collaboration in place, archive and e-discovery. E-discovery and litigation hold are in place. So hold is nothing but keeping an email or keeping the content for certain time. So there is an email. I don't want to delete. It's very confidential. So that's where the hold come into the picture. So the exchange administrator can define the policy where we can hold certain emails. So sometimes what happens is by mistake the users or the customers can delete their email, so which is very important. So in that case, how we can recover the email? That is where the e-discovery comes into the picture. The exchange administrator, even the user can delete the email from their end, but the exchange administrator still recover the email and share with the customer. So that is where the e-discovery and come into the picture, and the hold is to not to remove the email from the mailbox. So we can define those policies in exchange administration. So automated mail flow rules. Since you have more than 7 years of experience, you might be seen some auto email alerts. So those kind of rules, so we can define it. Compliances policies, it's very important in every organization, and security, spam filters, and encrypted email, data loss preventions. So just we talked about the email, right? This is where that data loss mechanism come into the picture. So you can define the archive policy. So say most of the mailboxes will be full, right? So they have to do the archive mechanism. So instead of deleting the content, they can archive it, and they can store in the archive folders. Later, if they want, they can recover their emails based on the need. Multi-factor authentication. So this is where if you want to access multiple applications, so you need to define the multi-factor authentication. So smartphone access control. So accessing the organization data outside uh, office is something should be in control, right? So if you want to access the data through smartphone, then those kind of privileges also you can define in Exchange Online. So maintenance will be completely taken care by the Microsoft. So this is the file. I just defined all the features. I will share with you once the session is over. So you can go through all the features and learn quickly, so that once we will go through the actual sessions, you will be understanding what is what. So I just given a description what is hybrid flexibility, what is compliances policies, so what is single sign-on. I've given all the description for every feature, so it will not take much time. It will take around 20 to 30 minutes. Just read it, and it's understandable. So once you go through all the features and learn it, then it will be helpful for better understanding. So let's move on to the PowerShell part. Uh, so, so if you want to connect from your local machine to Exchange Online, for that you have to have the uh, PowerShell version 5.0 or 6 or 4, whatever. Then you have to install the couple of modules like MS Online and Azure AD. So you have to give the commands like install module MS Online. Then you will get a prompt like on trusted repository. Then you have to click yes. Then you can give the other module Azure AD. So once you have installed these two modules, then you need to import the module, because you need to get the commands right from the Exchange Online. So for that you need to import the module Azure AD. Once that is done, then you need to give your live credentials to the Office 365. So get credentials is nothing but you will get a prompt, something like this. You will get a prompt. Then you have to give your O365 credentials and password. Then it will be authenticated. Then you can create a session with your connection URI part. So this is how the command will be looks like. So then you need to import this session. So once the import is done, then you can write any of the commands with Exchange Online, and you can work on it. So then this is the command to connect with your Exchange Online or 365 services, connect-mso services. So this is just a command. So basically with PowerShell, if you give any get command, it will just gives information. So get-mailbox is nothing but it will gives all the mailboxes information. So these are the mailboxes we so far created for users. So these are the users, and this is the database name, and this is the quota. So Let us move on to the administration center. We'll go through the couple of administration centers with O365 and Exchange Online and SharePoint Online. Then then you will get a little bit of idea on that. So this is the home page, right? Normally everyone will get. So this is the admin link. If you click on that, then you will get the O365 administration center. So from this administration center, we'll see how the licensing part works, and we'll see what kind of features available in Exchange Online administration console. So these are the admin centers we have from the Office 365, and so this is where you can define the users. So here you can define the user, and for this user you can define the role. So whether you wanted to give the admin kind of a role, or and what kind of licensing is having. Let us see. See, currently I have licensing with Office 365 E5 and the Business Premium both. So what are the services it is giving up? So what are the services it is giving? So you can see it here. So it is providing all the services what we have discussed previously. Microsoft Stream, Exchange. So based on the role, you can disable certain services. So for in this plan, you can see Exchange Online, right? Exchange Online Plan 2 and SharePoint Online Plan 2 with the E5. So whereas we'll see with uh, Business Premium. So if you see with Business Premium, it will have Exchange Online Plan 1. So so this is how the difference will be. So this is how the licensing and the cost factor and the features will depends. So if somebody wants to work as an exchange, then you can provide only the Exchange Online Plan 1 and Plan 2 based on the editions. So if somebody is a global administrator, then they should have all the permissions, right? All the features. So the global administrator, and uh, it will define all the roles and users. So if somebody wants to come and say that they wanted to access only the SharePoint Online, then you can give the licensing only with SharePoint Online. So if somebody wants to come and access only with Skype for Business, then you can only give the access with Skype. So somebody wants to work with Power Apps, then you can only give a role with Power Apps. So the rest of the things you don't need to give it. So this is how the licensing works. So all the users you can define it here. The same users you can access at Exchange Online admin console as well. So if you go to the Exchange Online, you can see the same thing. So these are the administration centers you have. So if you click on Exchange, then you will get the Exchange Administration Center. So normally you have to check the health on regular basis, or else you can monitor the services health with PowerShell as well. So if you see here, all my services are up and running. So you can open any incidents with the L1 team. The mostly the L1 team is Microsoft team. This is about advisories. So when I go to the Exchange Admin Center, you can see these are the features: recipients, permissions, compliance management, organization protection, advanced threats, mail flow, public folders, unified messaging, hybrid approach. So this is where you can create a mailboxes, and whereas to create a shared mailbox, you don't need to have access for Exchange Online. Okay, the shared mailboxes you can create from 365 Administration Center. So you can see the features from Exchange Online: compliance management, where you can define the hold and e-discovery, and auditing purpose you can. So that's what I said. Compliance management is very important for Exchange admin. Retention policies you can define, retention tags you can define. So protection is all about the malware or spam, and you can define multiple organizations. Okay, you can define multiple organizations, and you can and define multiple editions. So always if you have licensing for E1 and E5, so we will not able to provide licensing for both the editions at a time. Okay, the higher version only you can provide the licensing to the user. So in case if you have multiple versions of multiple editions of licensing, then then you should give always the higher edition only. So if you try to give the licensing part with E3, if you have E3 and E5, then fine, but the always the lesser features you will get it right, the lesser edition. So the but you cannot be able to give more both the editions at a time. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the PPT part. I just wanted to go through a small session. I mean, where we can answer a couple of questions. You can chart me the. I mean, you can send me the answer in the chart history. So can I have different Office 365 subscription plans for the same company? What will be the your answer? Yes, I mean you can have it, but the role can be given only the higher end version. So you can have multiple subscription plans, but you can, in case if you have even an E3 and E5, but you can use only the better to use only the E3, since you can define the organizations, right? So for if you define the two organizations, for organization A they can use E3 and organization B they can use E5. So in this case the answer is yes. So do you need to apply all the options under a licensing plan to the user? No, right? So uh, licensing plan will have all the services, right? Exchange, online, Skype, Power Apps. So based on the role, we need to define. If he is a user who access Exchange, then give only licensing part with Exchange online. Rest of the things don't need it, right? So we don't need to give all the options. So I have a group of temporary employees with the company for a month, but I don't have any way to give them only access to email. So in order to access email, what is the service we need to give? Exchange Online. So we can provide only the Exchange Online, right? Then they can access emails. So there is a pros to give access. So for this, it should be no. User management admin cannot change in global admin password. Global admin password, basically whenever you raise a request for Office 365 licensing part, then the global admin will be defined. So whoever basically defines, he is the global admin. So password can be changed. So they can change the password based on their need. So the next one is about the person that buys the Office 365 subscription plan from Microsoft web page becomes the first global admin. Yeah, that's what I said just now. This is correct. He is the global admin. So do you have any questions here? I mean, do you have any doubts with these questions, Naresh? So these are all the basic questions basically to get understand about the introduction part. So our plan is like for every session we'll have a couple of questions, because I just want to know how we are going to understand the session. So this is how we'll plan. So we'll define the courseware and then we will move on to the uh, final part with a couple of questions, and that is how I planned it. So let me go to the courseware. So this is the first part is about exchange evaluation, but I will mostly discuss on the differences between on-premises and online. What are the benefits and what are the features uh, differentiated when compared to on-premises and online. So that is where I concentrate on the first topic. Then we'll move through a couple of features in administration center, and we'll work on PowerShell. I mean, just we'll try to see how a couple of commands are working in the first session. Then we'll see what kind of administration tools available, and the and also we'll work on a couple of PowerShell activities on the second session. The third session is about recipients. So this is where we'll configure a mailbox, how it is working. So based on the different kind of editions, how the mailboxes works. For a business premium edition, how the mailbox works, and for a E5 kind of edition, how the mailbox works. So this is where we'll discuss, and mailbox management options. What are the different options we available, and permissions. This is important for a administrator point of view. So because it includes the licensing part, right? It involves a cost factor, and compliance management. the e-discovery and hold feature. It's very important, and data loss preventions, and working with the organizations. So what are the apps we have, and the protection, how to protect the emails from spam and mobile device management, working with public folders and unified messaging and troubleshooting steps. So basically, so this is where the admin come into the picture. So the exchange, the email services are down with some reason. Then how you are going to troubleshoot it? If somebody is unable to access, then how you will troubleshoot? So we'll here in 13th topic we'll go through a couple of case studies. Then you will get an understand of understand the role of exchange admin probably. And the 15th is about migration plan. So we'll try to do a sample migration. So I will try to arrange a demo for you. I will try to install on-premises solution from my laptop, and then we'll try to migrate some content from online on-premises to online. So we'll try to move the couple of users, at least 15 to 20 users. Will try to migrate and see how it is working. So that's where you will get a real-time experience. And what are the errors we used to get when we go with the migration? So definitely every migration is a little bit panic where we get some errors. So we'll go through a couple of error scenarios, and the 16th one is about the PowerShell. So here we'll go through in a deeply manner, so where you can learn most of the things. So say if you are new to PowerShell, let me know in the next session. So probably I can give you some documentation where you can uh, learn a couple of commands. So before we move on to the PowerShell module. So PowerShell is huge, right? So you will have a number of commands, and you can explore a lot of things. So most of the Exchange admins nowadays, who is expert in Exchange administration, they will not manage everything from UI. Mostly in 95% they will manage through PowerShell only. So whoever strong in PowerShell, they will crack the uh, interviews basically. So PowerShell is very important topic. So I will share this courseware and PPT with you. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, Naresh. Okay, one last question is, one person cannot be assigned all admin roles. So, no, right? So we can assign. If you are a O365 global admin, you can access all the admin roles. So which Office 365 admin roles can change passwords? Basically, the password admin will change the password roles. And service admin is nothing but they will give the roles basically, which service to whom. Billing admin is all about how many licensing and how much cost. So billing admin will take care about all these things. So here the answer is password admin. So course overview, we just gone through it. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, Naresh. Okay, okay.